It was 4:10 a.m. on the 2nd of March, 1877. Acting President of the Senate, Thomas W. Ferry, declared Rutherford B. Hayes the next president. In our timeline, the Compromise of 1877 ended the dispute. But what if it didn't? What if, right then, Democrats said no, refused to concede, refused to compromise? What if angry crowds gathered, headlines screamed, "Stolen election," and political pressure boiled over? What if the tide turned and Samuel J. Tilden became president instead? In this video, we explore the alternate history of a nation that took a different path in 1877. One decision, one moment, a totally different America. Like and subscribe for more. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell for more history documentaries. Please watch the video till the end, as good interaction would help the performance of the video and the growth of my channel massively. How did Tilden win the presidency? Tilden's path to the White House in this alternate reality hinged on three key differences from our own. 1. Democratic unity and resolve. Unlike in our timeline, Democrats refused to compromise. Leaders like Thurman, Bayard, and Hendricks stood firm, refusing to back down in the face of Republican pressure. 2. Grant's decision to stay neutral. In our reality, President Grant leaned toward enforcing the Electoral Commission's decision. Here, fearing civil unrest and damage to the Union, he chose neutrality. 3. Public opinion and media pressure. Widespread belief that Tilden had been cheated of a legitimate victory spurred protests, editorials, and calls from business leaders for a peaceful transfer of power. The reactions across the nation. President Ulysses S. Grant reluctantly bowed out, believing a peaceful transfer of power more important than a partisan victory. He condemned electoral fraud, but respected Congress's final decision. The North. Reactions were mixed. Republican strongholds were furious, accusing Democrats of staging a coup. However, moderate voices applauded the peaceful outcome and the exposure of corruption. The South. Elation. Tilden, a Democrat, was viewed as a symbol of the end of Reconstruction and federal occupation. Southern elites hoped for a return to home rule and the rollback of radical Republican reforms. Tilden's presidency. Cabinet and agenda. Tilden's cabinet featured Southern Democrats and moderate reformers. He prioritized cleaning up corruption and restructuring federal agencies. His Secretary of State was Thomas Bayard. Treasury went to a Wall Street reformer, symbolizing his anti-corruption crusade. Reconstruction ends. On Southern terms, Tilden formally ended Reconstruction, but tried to implement a gentler policy than Hayes. While he withdrew federal troops, he pushed for reconciliation and investment in the South, but failed to protect black civil rights. Southern states quickly passed Jim Crow laws. Slavery? No, Tilden did not attempt to reintroduce slavery. That ship had sailed. However, his failure to protect freedmen's rights led to widespread disenfranchisement and racial violence, enabling white supremacy to reassert itself. The Great Railroad Strike of 1877. Tilden, sympathetic to labor, initially sought negotiation. But when strikes paralyzed commerce, he reluctantly deployed federal troops, but only after exhausting peaceful measures. Unlike Hayes, he pushed for federal mediation boards, civil service reform, and the spoils system. Tilden supported reform. He laid early groundwork for what would later become the Pendleton Act. His administration was notable for anti-corruption drives, particularly targeting the New York Customs House. Modernization and infrastructure. Tilden promoted investment in railroads, telegraph expansion, and public education. He proposed a national education fund to assist Southern schools, a plan blocked by Congress. The election of 1880. Tilden, unlike Hayes, did not step aside. Though aging, he was determined to continue his reform efforts. The Republican Party, still divided, nominated James G. Blaine, a charismatic but controversial figure with deep ties to big business. Result: Tilden won re-election narrowly. His image as a clean government advocate, combined with growing dissatisfaction with Republican infighting, secured his second term. Assassination Attempt. In our reality, President James Garfield was assassinated in 1881, just months into office. And so did Tilden face an attempt on his life in this alternate reality. In late 1881, a failed assassination attempt, believed to be orchestrated by a radical labor agitator, left Tilden wounded but alive. He survived, and the incident galvanized public support for civil service reform and strengthened his political standing. Second term and reforms. Tilden's second term saw civil service reform, passage of a Tilden-backed version of the Pendleton Act in 1883, limiting patronage. Southern investment, rail and telegraph expansion into the South, but little improvement in racial equality. Anti-corruption crackdowns, more federal prosecutions of graft and fraud. Legacy building. He created a federal archive system and laid the foundations for a national public university grant. How would history remember Tilden? Tilden would be remembered as the president who fought for legitimacy, a man who refused to let electoral injustice stand, the last hope for reconciliation. Though he failed to protect black rights, his commitment to national unity would be remembered by moderates. A civil service pioneer, his anti-corruption stance helped spark the modern civil service system. A lost opportunity for African Americans, his presidency marked the tragic end of Reconstruction and the beginning of Jim Crow. Conclusion: in this alternate timeline, Samuel Tilden changed the course of American history, not through war or revolution, but through legal battle, political will, and strategic patience. His presidency was flawed but transformative, steering the nation through a volatile chapter of healing and division. What do you think? Write your opinion and version of the story in the comments below. Please be polite and kind. If you want to know what would have happened if McCain defeated Obama in 2008, click on the video on the left. Thanks for watching.